rehearsing for an event right now. Can I get back to you later on? Or you can come tomorrow?
Yes, madam. How can I not see you? What's happened? How you did you people call here?
Okay.
No, so if she's arrested,
For draw for reception. You never reach my office. I don't know.
if it till 2 a.m. Make I wait send the document to you. Yes, no, because I told you what. And the problem that they are checking, you know which nationalities they are checking. I have someone neighbor there and she was watching all African getting inside us.
Because of
All of
we
them
have
are
work.
Africans.
So we have work so that we can do.
I'm ready.
Mr. Harry, are you ready? Are you ready for the?
Thank you.
Please, because we have customers waiting for us.
He's coming. He's coming. I sent her the. You have it now? She's coming. She's coming around. I gave her Let me know when it's ready.
I'm at the office now. Then let me say you never bring 1,000. Unless now you did delete them now. You did. I waited for you already.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Can I request that you move forward? There's an empty seat in front of you. Just occupy all of these seats.
I think they should sit there.
Yeah, so I can see everybody at the same time. So please come forward. This seat you can sit here.
Go back. Forward, forward. Hello, sir. Yes?
Okay, great. So good afternoon again. Like two people spoke. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I'm sure you're wondering, someone is just walking up and down. What is she doing? We're just trying to get things ready. Who has got this or who doesn't have this yet? Everyone has this? Everyone has this? Okay, good. Just a simple, something simple for us to do afterwards. So thank you so much for being here. I am hoping that we can project something on the screen later, but regardless, this will be very interactive and engaging. So I'm hoping you need more of me and not the screen. Right? It's human to human as much as possible. So welcome to what I've termed the DSE Media and Podcast Studio staff training. I do know that we have other people who have joined us from outside the podcast. If you've come from other branches of the business, where are you? Travel, real estate, okay, gold. We don't do gold yet? Okay. Great, so thank you for coming. A few housekeeping rules. I'm trying to make this as professional as possible. And I want it to be as organized as possible. I want everyone to be here as much as possible. So I'd like to request that if your phone is like on the ringing mode, you can put it to silent. If you need to pick a phone call, that's fine. You just need to go to like the reception area so you don't distract anyone else. If you need to go use the washroom, like feel free, okay? This is not something like crazy. It's fine. I just want us to be able to concentrate and get the best out of this session. As an entrepreneur myself, I put more priority on time than even money. Because money you can make back, time you can't. And so anywhere people are investing time with me or I'm investing time with people, I want that time to count. So let's make this time count so that next week, next month, next year, if you remember today, you don't feel like there was time wasted. Who's with me? You with me? Good. Good stuff. So we will start this session with an icebreaker. What is an icebreaker? Some of you work in different departments. Some of you have probably just met each other recently, new staff. So let's have an icebreaker, because I don't want you to be stiff. I know I'm wearing a jacket, I know. But I don't want you to be like, "Ugh." I want us to relax, have fun, because this is not just me talking. This is us having a conversation on how we can improve what we do, how we can take DSD to the next level. And some of the things I will share with you today are not just things for DSD, matter of fact. It would benefit DSD, but there are things that you can take wherever you go, right? So put it in mind that this is not just for DSD, even though we're expecting you to make DSD the first recipient of whatever it is, because the management has been gracious enough to say, let's put something together. So every training opportunity that you get is not just for the company, it's actually also for you, because it belongs to you, always. So quick icebreaker. I need 2 or 3 volunteers. We're all going to participate, so that's fine. I need 2 or 3 confident people to step forward for what this icebreaker is. 2 or 3 confident people. No confident people here?
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
How you did not introduce yourself
I'm
before
coming
it
there,
start?
you're jumping the gun. I'm coming there.
Yeah, because my mind is still
It's
there.
like, who is she? Right? Okay, just play my game with
After
me.
that we can continue, we can concentrate to you, that who are you, why you deliver lectures to us, you introduce yourself. Then we'll go.
That's why I
step
needed
by-
this screen. Okay, I wanted us to play a game first before I got into the introduction, but since you want to know who I am,
Yes,
I will skip to who I am. Mr. Harry, how can we get this thing on the screen?
Mr. Harry.
So,
Mr. Harry.
I'll share a bit since
She's
the screen isn't active yet. My name is, and for those who are here for the first training session, they already know who I am. My name is Mayowa Adegoke.
Mayowa.
Mayowa, yes. Mayowa means bring joy. I'm Nigerian, if it wasn't obvious already. And it means bring joy. So that's what my name is. And my surname is Adegoke. A lot of people call me the Lady Mayowa, which is like a brand name. What do? I do a bunch of things, right? But at the core of it is media, events, and people. If you summarize everything that I do, it's media, events, and people. So there's a media side of me. I work with TV. I've done that for over 11 years now. There's an event side of me. I'm the organizer of Road to Success seminar. It's a growing community here in the UAE. We bring together entrepreneurs and professionals. We host seminars, trainings, networking meetings. And then there's people. Businesses come under people because business is about people,
Yeah.
right? So I don't say business, I say people. This that we're doing falls under the people pillar. I'm honored to be consulting with DSD on a bunch of things. We're working together for our big launch on Sunday. I hope everybody's excited. And this is also part of what we're doing with DSD. So with my media background, my business background, my people experience and skills, that's sort of where we're coming from today. And our training session is on key pillars. We're looking at brand experience, we're looking at customer relations, we're looking at things like active listening, taking feedback, a bunch of pillars. But I'm sure that everybody in this room will gain from what we're going to talk about. Now, as I always like to say, I'm not here bringing all the solutions. I'm here to have a conversation with you because you will see me maybe a couple of times, but you won't always see me. Because like, ultimately, DSD belongs to you, and you are the ones who will take it to the next level. So I need to speak with you on what will work. This is the standard. Where are we? Where do we want to be? How can we get there? All right? So feel free to speak, feel free to engage, feel free to ask questions, feel free to share your experiences. Matter of fact, I want to hear your experiences on the job. you know, oh, I had this client who did this and this, what should I have done there? All right? So, oh, there we are. So I'm not sure if everybody can see it, but I'll just read it. Mayawa, and I know I'm all made up, I look very different. Same person, I can assure you. So international journalist, Channels TV Middle East, Media Personality of the Year, Loving Dubai gave me an award, Founder Road to Success. So award-winning TV show host and international journalist, is a leading African media personality in Dubai, currently a foreign correspondent for one of the biggest TV stations in Africa. It's called Channels TV. I've spoken to a lot of people. I've interviewed over 2,000 people in my career. Steve Harvey, David O, like a bunch of cool people as well as just everyday people, right? I've also been honored to interview the CEO of Dubai Tourism, Akon, like the list is endless. I've got well over 10 years in media, everything from writing, interviewing, newscasting, producing stories, all of that. I also do public speaking as well, and a bunch of recognitions and awards, Media Personality of the Year by Loving Dubai, one of 12 inspirational entrepreneurial women in the UAE. You have one I'm very proud of, one of 100 most influential Africans in the world by MyPet, is a global recognition, and it's recognized by the United Nations. So does that satisfy? Am I privileged or qualified to stand before you?
Yes.
Can I proceed? Okay, great. Now we can get to our game.
But this picture before 15 years.
Bercy, we need to do something about this, right? Maybe make me look, I don't know, like 20
More younger
or
now.
something? Okay, great. So let's get to our icebreaker. Our icebreaker is a very simple game. It's called Two Truths and One Lie. So I need two truths and one, not
Don't say
lies.
all lies.
One lie. Okay, one house. Two truths, one lie. And I need 3 confident volunteers. If you know you're confident, step forward. Just 3 people. Confident.
We're confident enough not to come up.
Oh my Lord. There's no such thing as confident enough not to come up. Confident people who want to be considered for a salary increase, maybe step forward.
No, I'll stand up for a salary.
Oh.
But not for the ice cream.
All right, so to be serious, 2 people. I don't want to call names. I don't want to.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, can we give her a round of applause? It takes a lot of confidence to step forward. So good job, well done. So she'll be the first person to play this game, and it's very simple. You will tell us 3 things about you,
They know, right?
and I can promise you they don't know everything.
Okay, surely.
3 things about you.
Okay.
2 will be the truth, and 1 will be a lie. And they're supposed to find out which one is a lie.
Oh.
Do we like this game?
Yes.
Okay. So take a moment, think about it. You've got to say everything like it's the truth. Remember, it's a game. We're supposed to find out which one is a lie. And then for those maybe who haven't met you, you can introduce yourself. But take a moment to think about it. 2 truths, 1 lie. Go.
Okay.
You can introduce yourself first.
You're on live, oh.
I hope this is not live on video. Okay.
Take your time.
No, because I'm trying to tell what is the truth means. Okay. I'm a really good cook, but I own a restaurant. And I'm married.
And number 3.
Number 3.
I'm 18 years.
I take rubbish.
You take rubbish. I'm really kind.
tell you, if you do.
So number one was what?
She owns
She's
a
a
restaurant
really
back
good
home.
cook, so much that she owns a restaurant back home. Number two, and number three, she's kind. Let's say that she's kind.
I don't.
Rather than. So which one? She's kind or she doesn't? Alright, stand
I
here.
think I did 2 lies and 1 She's so kind that she needs 2 lies.
Oh wow.
By the way, my friends told me I'm a pure-hearted person. She can testify.
But she's looking at you like, I'm not sure about that. Okay, so you gave us 2 lies.
I think so.
You invented the game. Can we identify the 2 lies?
She's married.
She's married.
She's not married. That's why your friend was looking at you crazy. She's like,
And for your information, her kitchen is in 201. She does not cook.
she doesn't cook.
She eats out.
So you told all the lies?
So what's the truth?
So the first.
No, let me defend myself. You guys are judging me.
That's our job. We are.
All right, give her a round of applause. Thank you very much. You may not have followed the rules exactly, but you broke the ice. You got us laughing. You got everyone together. Some people looking at you crazy. Some people laughing. So you did what you were supposed to do. Thank you. Who's a second confident person who's stepping up? A round of applause. So please don't
So
forget to
I should
introduce
tell you,
yourself.
I should tell you 2 truths,
And 1 lie.
1 lie.
Yes.
Sorry,
In
Dr.
short.
Akram, not 2 hours, huh?
This is the
Very
problem.
simple.
You make it very short. First truth. I
Oh,
have
no, you don't
tell us.
Don't tell us.
Don't say the truth.
Don't tell us. Just
No.
in the pitch.
They are
No,
very good for us.
you listen from me 2 truths and 1 lie.
Okay.
So I explain number 1. I cannot say first truth or lie.
Okay.
Number 1. I have 59 girlfriends.
Well, considering the age.
No one loves me.
Okay.
One.
This is one. Second one. I loved a girl who don't love me.
Sounds like number 1.
Number 3. I am not old.
We already know. I think that is the line that you.
The lie is that you are old.
So, which one is the truth?
The first one and second one.
Yes.
You've got
He
59
think-
girlfriends?
You think that I don't have 59 girlfriends. 59 I
So
have.
you tell us which one is the truth.
Yeah, this is.
Which one?
This is true that I have 59 girlfriends.
You do have 59 girlfriends?
Yes.
I hope they are not in this room.
Yeah, I think I do believe it.
Nobody believe it.
I believe.
Alright, so what's the second truth?
Second truth is second truth. That I loved.
You loved one and she didn't love you back.
Yes.
And then the lie,
And I
you are
she's
not
my
old.
wife.
That's good.
But this
I think
will
she's
judge
right.
that. What is this?
No, there's no judgment here.
No judgment.
Very
We're just
difficult.
having a good time.
Information.
Can you give him a round of applause? Okay, thank you.
Third one.
Third
No,
one.
no one is agree that I told that I
But
not
that's
old.
that's the lie, right?
The lie.
But that's the lie. Oh, you want that to be true?
This is also true.
We'll talk to Bertie afterwards. Okay,
Especially
great.
with Brandy.
I like that we're catching what we're supposed to catch, which is just relaxing, laughing at each other. It's a good thing to be able to just laugh at ourselves. So who's our third confident person? Who can play this game right? I want you to really play this game the way it should be played. And this is how it's supposed to be played. You just tell us 3 statements, and we're not really supposed to know which it is. Make it difficult. Don't make it easy. If I come and say, oh, the truth is that I'm made up. Obviously, I'm not made up. But make it difficult. Who wants to go for it? Come on. We don't have all day. Do you want to try? Give her a round of applause. Come on. Yeah.
Two-minute pass.
Take your time. No judging. Okay, I think she tried to make it difficult. So which one's true? It's true?
Yeah, it's true.
She can cook?
Yeah.
Okay,
She's
which
not
is the
married.
second truth?
No, she's pharmacist.
She's
I am
a
a doctor. I can understand.
She's a pharmacist, yeah?
Yes,
That's
this is
true. She kind of looks like a pharmacist.
Yeah.
With the hair all slicked back.
yes.
And then the lie is that
She's married.
she's married, so she's not married yet.
Yeah.
Can we give her a round of applause? All right, thank you everyone for playing my little game. I do hope that it helped you relax. It helps you get more friendly, more warm towards each other, and then you guys can joke about it later and say, "Oh, you were used to married or not." So great. Core pillars of what we're looking at today, as I said, we're looking at customer relations. Ultimately, everybody in this room interacts with a customer at one point or the other. It doesn't matter if all you handle is a camera. At some point, you go out there, you go to an event, you're not even at work, and everyone's networking, and they say, "Where do you work?" "Oh, I work at XYZ." And it's, "Oh, really? I came to your office last week. You guys are..." In that very moment, you're the representative of the company. And what is happening right there is customer relations. And that's why we all need it, because you don't know at what point you get to interface with a client. And I hope you do know that you are all brand ambassadors of DSD. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you are a brand ambassador. So we need to know how to be brand ambassadors, what to do, what not to do. If we get confronted by a certain situation, what are we supposed to do? How should we handle it? And we'll get into all of that. But very quickly, I want each person to introduce themselves. Your name, which branch of the company you're with, and yeah, let's keep it short. Name and which part of the company you are with, and maybe what you do with the company. Let's start over here.
Yeah, Dr. Muhammad Akram, DSD Global Properties, Director, Sales and...
Thank you. A round of applause, please. Yes, next.
My name is Salma. I'm working with DSD Global Property Sales Manager.
A round of applause. Thank you. Next, our pharmacist. Next.
Adenika, and I'm working with DSD Products at the same time.
Thank you. Don't get tired. It's good to applaud people.
I am Mercy. I'm working as an
Thank you.
I'm working in DSD
Thank you very much. What are you working as? Sales as well. Thank you.
I'm Monica. I work in DSD as marketing specialist.
Thank you.
Not safe.
I'm Tanaka. 201 years.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Salim and I'm working for DSP Group actually, not the specific branch. So my work is DSP and
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nonya and I'm one of the admin members.
Thank you.
I'm Julia. I'm starting today with the DST proper class.
Your role?
Immigration officer and travel.
Welcome to the company. And we give a special round of applause. Please be seated. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Debbie from DSD Media as a customer service assistant.
Bravo.
Hi, Tess, everybody. DSD Tourism, sales.
Thank you.
I'm tourism manager.
Alice, DSD Tourism and Global Property. All
General Manager.
General Manager.
Hi, I'm Citizen Oluwatosin. I'm friend of the company.
Bravo. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's dive straight into customer relations. And what are we trying to do with customer relations. Not that you don't know it, you've been doing it, right? It's just how can we improve it? What can we take later as well? The whole idea is so that we are sensitive. Can I move to the next slide, please? So we understand the foundation of good customer service. What are the things that we check to make sure, okay, this is good customer service? So we want to look at that. We want to understand how do we anticipate, how do we understand the needs and wants of the customer. We're trying to do that. We're also going to look at active listening. We look at how to handle complaints gracefully. In business, one thing you will surely get sooner or later is a bad review, somebody who had a bad experience, somebody who felt cheated, or just something that they felt, I didn't like this. And how do we handle that when it does happen? So first thing we're going to look at, please change the slide for me, is looking at key aspects of customer relations, how to provide excellent customer service. And we're looking at, as I said, understanding customer needs, handling complaints gracefully. Understanding customer needs. Ultimately, this is a foundation of good business. You understand what the customer needs, you're able to meet them, you're able to handle complaints, issues. You build customer loyalty. That is what we're driving to. We don't want someone who comes for business once or twice. We want someone who comes for business all the time. If you have a loyal customer, that one customer can give you multiple other customers because they'll say, I know these guys, they're really good, and I can vouch for them. So we want to build a company, and we want to get to the level where you don't vouch for the company anymore. Your customers begin to vouch for you. It's like, listen, we can do this, but if you don't trust me, talk to customer ABC, they'll tell you. And then customer ABC becomes your brand ambassador. But to get the customer ABC to become your brand ambassador, it means you've given them great customer service. And in business, can I tell you that there's no group customer service? You don't treat all customers the same way. You have to see every customer as an individual. Because what I want may be different from what the next person wants. The way I want to be spoken to is different from the way the next customer wants to be spoken to. Some people, they just tell me on WhatsApp, send it on WhatsApp. Some people, they want email. Send me an email, send me an invoice, send me a receipt. Some people, they don't really care for that. Just give me the service and I'm good to go. So you have to see every customer as one person. Not everybody is the same. Don't say, oh, I had 2 customers last week, they didn't give me so much problem. 2 customers last week are not the same as this customer. And every customer is important. Can we say that together? Every customer is important. I didn't hear you.
Every customer is important.
Every customer is important. Because that customer can lead to more customers or more bad reviews. Right? So every customer is important. Whenever we're engaging with people, remember, this customer, whether they were nice or they were not nice, whether they were, maybe they even spent money, maybe they only spent 200 dirhams, or they spent 2,000 dirhams, this customer is important. Because a customer that spends 1,000 today can bring you business of 50,000 tomorrow, depending on what you do. Again, can we say every customer is important?
Every customer is important.
Please always remember this, because it makes or breaks business. If DSD makes X3 amount this year, what do you think will happen? It means that bonuses can increase. It means that salaries can increase. Why? The company is making money. I have a personal rule. I tell people I need to make money to pay money. If I'm not making money, how am I going to pay you? And so if you remember that this company is one whole, it's not just about the management. Everybody is important. And that's why everybody needs to understand and be reminded really about customer relations. What are some of the things we can do to make sure we're doing it right? There's something called active listening. Active listening. You know, there's listening and then there's active listening. How many of us are married here? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm not alienating the single people. I'm just using ourselves as scapegoats, the married people. If you had an argument with your spouse, and I'm sure some of you have married friends, you've seen movies, sometimes like husband and wife, it's like, no, you spoke to me last week, blah, 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 blah. Yes, but you didn't let me to. See, what do you think is happening here? You're listening to respond. The couples are listening to respond. They're not listening to each other. The wife is just waiting for him to say something. And it's like, yes, but I told you that. You're not really listening. You're just listening to respond. It becomes like a battlefield. And that's not what we want when we're trying to work with our customers. We're not looking to listen to quickly respond. We're looking to listen to understand. Listen to understand. What is this person really saying? And sometimes the customer they're not even really saying what they're saying in words. You know? Maybe what this customer is trying to tell you is, nobody called me back. You understand? A customer might just be angry, upset, and XYZ, but they're only taking one excuse to say, you people, you have bad service, blah, blah, blah. But if you listen properly, maybe this person is just trying to say, I wanted somebody to call me back. So what if the customer is not saying, I wanted someone to call me back? How do you know? How do you catch it? It's by active listening. Listening to understand instead of listening to respond. And this is not only in situations of conflict, it's also from the very first meeting point with the customer. I'm sure in your different arms of the company, you have packages, you have services, you've been doing this business for a long time. You already know if somebody calls us, they just want an immigration service, or they want to book a trip. It's the same thing everybody does. But if you do that, you forget that this customer is a different customer. So you need to listen to understand, not necessarily listen to respond. And I'll share some frameworks with you. Feel free to write some frameworks that will help you. Of course, you want to internalize these frameworks before you have to engage, right? So we'll start with the guest model. Guest. Just the regular guest. And this framework, when you break it down, is, you can write if you want. Number one, it says G, greet. Greet. A greeting. Hello, good morning, welcome. A simple greeting, but the way you greet matters a lot. Are you greeting just like you're just one of my other customers? You know, if I enter a place I'm going to spend my money, and they don't treat me like I'm one person, they treat me like I'm one of the others, I don't feel special. I don't feel welcome. I don't feel like, should I really spend my money here? I can take my business elsewhere. So a greeting is really the first way to make a good impression. I tell my team when we host events, I tell them, whatever energy you bring is the energy people will catch. If anybody walks into this room and the energy is tense, you know, everyone's frowning, that's the same energy the client will catch. It's like, what's going on here? They're not nice, they're not friendly, it's not relaxed, everyone's angry at each other. So a greeting really is how you make that first touch with the client, how you greet. Are you greeting with a smile? Is it with a handshake? It's like, hi, welcome, or welcome. Your face also says a lot. It's not just with the words, it's also what your face is doing. Let me tell you, you have got to be active sometimes. And I'll tell you why you have to be active. So when I was back in Nigeria and I used to do newscasting, it's like live newscasting, we'll go into the studio and it's like, hello and welcome, this is a news track on the news today. The president has said XYZ. Guess what? I've got to do that with a smile. If it's good news, I've got to do that with a smile because people are watching me, like millions of people are watching me live. What if my producer just annoyed me before I got into the studio? And this has happened many times. You get into the studio, your script is not ready, the director has just said something funny, maybe your cameraman is fumbling, you're already angry. And then it's like, coming to you, studio live, 3, 2, 1. Helen, welcome. Sometimes we think we're crazy people, but we're trying to achieve something. What am I saying? No matter the situation in the work environment, you have a misunderstanding, you've asked your colleague to do something, they haven't done it. Do not let the customer come into that environment. So your greeting is very important. Your greeting is not just your words, it's also your facial expression. You've got to be warm and open. Warm and open, because that energy is what the client will catch. And it's like, oh wow, this is a nice person. Oh, hi. Good. Understand, I already talked about this. We're still talking about the guest framework under customer relations. Just remember guest. Anytime you're thinking customer relations, think guest. Number 1, who remembers? Greet.
Great.
Number 2, not great, greet.
Greeting.
Great. Understand. Listen to the customer's needs, their complaints, whatever it is. Listen to them. The next thing you want to do is empathize. Sometimes the mistakes staff make is the company versus the client. It's not the company versus the client. You're not fighting with the client. It's not, I'm loyal to my company, so you are the wrong party. No, we're looking for a partnership, a collaboration. So it's not company versus them. You're trying to get them to your side. So empathizing means, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you experienced this. Oh wow, apologies for that. Even if your colleague was supposed to do something and they didn't do it, and somebody's calling to say, they didn't do this, I'm so sorry. Do not put your colleagues under the bus. Sometimes we're trying to get the customer on our side, we put our colleague under the bus. It's like, oh, my colleague, don't mind him, he's like that, he doesn't do his job. Don't do that. Have you found that sometimes people do this? Please don't do that. Why? You are one team. If you put your colleagues under the bus, you're not making the company look good. It's still your company. So do not put your colleagues under the bus. Empathize with the client. Oh, we're so sorry that this happened to you. I'm here to help you make it better. So empathize with the client. Feel their pain. Imagine yourself as them. I've spent my money with these guys. They didn't give me what I was expecting. Empathize, right? Solve. Offer a solution. Offer a solution, or find someone who can. Not every problem everyone can solve. It's like, not that you empathize with them, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I really know that it must be a miscommunication. There's definitely a solution. How about I book a session with you with XYZ? How about I call you later today to really understand what we can do? Offer a solution. Or, listen, I will be happy to connect you with the person in charge. I will have them call you back. Instead of, oh, can you call this person? We do that sometimes. It's like, well, I cannot solve your problem. Take this number and call that person. No. We're trying to build customer relation. It is, I will tell them to call you. You're the king, you're the customer. Rest, relax. Don't do any work. We will fix it. Is this making sense to you?
Yes.
Are you thinking of maybe situations that have happened where you feel this would have been helpful? Again, we're still doing the guest model. And the last one with the T is thank them. Thank them. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We know you like us. You want us to do better. That's why you brought us this complaint. Right? Thank them for their contribution, for their time, for their patience, for their understanding. Be thankful. Do we think that this is something we can remember? Yes. Is it easy to remember?
Yes.
Can we take it from the start? Who remembers? G?
Great.
Greeting. R?
Um,
Yes, sorry. greet was stuck in my head.
Great was.
Yes. So G for greet, U,
Understand.
E, empathize, S, solve. Yeah, you're right, solution, solve. T,
Thank you.
can we take it again?
Thanks
G,
and goodbye. Yes.
greet, U, E, S, T. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Brilliant.
And here, madam, one question.
Yes.
On first stage, this is called just like if somebody first greet, what sentence is most effective for greeting? Like if someone contact with me and come in my office and say, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? Welcome. Is it right that somebody say, how can I help you? So I don't feel good. Personally, I never feel good.
When someone says, how can I
If
help
somebody,
you?
how can I help you? If sometimes some persons I want to help them and they ask me how can I help you? So what is your idea about that? This is good sentence.
Thank you for that question. You've asked two questions in one actually. Number one, you talked about, should we maybe do the Assalamu alaikum? Should we do the English way, hello and welcome? Which should we do? I think the answer to that first part of your question is our brand approach. Obviously we're diverse culturally in our company, and our customers are also very diverse. You also have to be sensitive to the country you're in. So, but one more thing is the person, Bercy, yourself. I remember Bercy also. Madam Alice. So, I don't want you to get so carried away that you forget your personality. Because business does business with people. Remember what I said in the beginning? Business is about people. Bercy is not a business. She works in a company. They are doing business. But Bercy is Bercy. Somebody would like Bercy's personality. Say, I want to do business with this company because of Bercy. Sometimes maybe somebody else didn't do the right thing. They'll say, I'm going to tell Bercy. I say, Bercy, I didn't like what your company did. That's the sign of a customer that wants to be loyal. And they come into Bercy or anybody else and say, you guys, I don't like what you did. They're giving you the opportunity to make it right. So to answer the first part of your question, approach people on a one-to-one basis. Somebody is coming to you, hi, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, welcome, good afternoon. How are you? If you can speak 3 languages and you're a very funny, energetic, happy person, feel free to use all 5 languages. Bonjour! People will like you because you're showing personality. You're not acting like a robot. So that's one part. The second part, what you've mentioned, is a cultural thing. Some people see, how can I help you, as a negative and not necessarily a positive. Like, who are you? Can I help you? It can come across as aggressive. I like to use, how can I be of service today?
Yes.
How can I be of service? Because service is what everybody wants. How can I be of service? It's like, how can I serve you today? It's like you're telling them, I want to serve you. I want to be useful to you. I want to give you something you appreciate. So do you think that this is something you can use? How can I serve you today? Nobody will be angry with that. If they're angry with that, maybe they didn't eat breakfast. Maybe they didn't eat. But how can I be of service is one way you can avoid that cultural, pit. And people are like, oh, yes, I mean, yeah, you can help me, definitely. So how can I be of service, something you can say?
Yeah, you can also say, can I be of help to you? And in this saying this also tone matters.
Yes.
Tone.
Yes.
Depends on how you say it.
Your
Apart
face,
from expression,
your
and
voice.
the tone, we make people to read meaning to whatever you are saying. Even if you're saying, how are you? You can ask me, how are you? And I will not answer you. Because of how you are asking me, how are you? So the tone is very, very important.
Most effective.
Yes.
Everything is about, remember when I said your face also does the talking. So it's about, you've got to actually remember that my client is going to catch what I'm giving. So your face your voice, your tone, you've got to believe it. And that's it. If you don't believe it, it's hard to fake it. It's hard to fake it. So you've got to really believe that this client is important to me. If you know, if mentally you know this client is important to me, when you do engage, it shows. That authenticity, it shows. You don't need to fake it. All right? Can we give him a round of applause? I like questions. So please do feel free at any point to ask a question. Bring up scenarios that you've encountered, then we can address them one-to-one like that. Should we do a role play? I feel like we've spent a lot of time, and I'm conscious of the fact that people have to return to business. But please practice some of these things. You can do it with each other and use the guest framework. You know, you can put each other to the test and say, okay, let's try that guest framework. And you can act as a customer, she acts as staff, she acts as a customer, you act as staff. Put it to the practice, okay? So let's go to brand experience. Where's my brand experience? There it is. Who understands what brand experience is? That's why I asked them to print this. You know, what is the brand experience? What is a brand? Is a brand the same thing as a business? You know, what is a brand?
What product I have, and in which, how much experience I have in, on my own product. What product I suppose BSD tourism, BSD global properties, what experience I have, and what is my, what you say that, how much experience I have, and how much command on my product.
Good.
So if I explain to you, if suppose I offer you about property, so if I have full command and well experience in my field, then I will tell you that this is called brand experience.
So let's do a quick, yes.
Where the product become demand and value. For example, people start asking and looking for the thing by the name. They start recognizing anything.
Good.
For example, Adidas, there are shoes, many shoes in the market. You will not go for every single shoe. When you specifically name it, so it is brand. So the business is same like that. So people want to visit specifically, go to this person, go and visit them. Because they are trustworthy, first of all, and they have good experience in all of the services, but you need it.
Thank you. Good responses. If you want to buy a brand, are you going to go to Dara? No, just, no joke. You know what? I want to buy a brand. It doesn't matter what it is. But you're thinking, you know, I want to buy a brand. Where are you thinking? Any answers? Dubai Mall. Mall of Emirates. Marina Mall. You know? Sephora. Listen, it's still a brand. Right?
606.
It's still a brand. I'm not really going to go into like one corner shop in there. Except you want to buy the fake one. Okay. No judging. But when you've been able to create a unique identity for yourself, your business, such that when people see anything that looks like your stuff, it's like, that's it. Because remember, there are 1,001 businesses doing exactly what you're doing. How do you stand out? What makes you stand out? And what makes you stand out sometimes is what people buy. Adidas and, I don't know, knockoff. Well, just give me one random name.
Nike.
Not even, Nike is still a brand. But Adidas, Nike, and Footy. Even Footy is the name of a brand. I'm looking for a crazy name. Let's say Rookie. Yeah, I've never really seen a brand called Rookie. So Adidas, Nike, and Rookie. They are all shoes, no? They produce shoes, right? They produce maybe bags. What is a primary function of the shoe or the bag? The shoe to cover your feet, to protect your feet, you can walk around. The bag to carry your stuff, right? But why would people say, listen, I'm only going for Adidas, I'm going for Nike? Why? Why not the cheaper one that still does the same job? They go there because there's something else that is attached beyond functionality. It is the prestige. It is the experience. When you go to an Adidas store, everywhere is not cramped. You don't see shoes just all over the floor, just pick your own. You know, somebody comes to you, welcome to the store, they're wearing nice t-shirt, there's AC. You know, there's a joke I always tell people, if you enter a store and there's a lot of space in the store, you're paying for that space. If you enter a store and everywhere's packed, you know, it's like, oh, there's stuff here. Cheap, most likely. But you enter a store, it's like just one aisle here, and there's a lot of space, your children can play around, and then the other shoe is there, you're paying more. But why do people go there? For the experience. Not just the experience when they buy, but the experience even after they buy. They go out and people say, ooh, is that the new Adidas? Ooh, cool guy, cool dude, cool stuff. It's like, oh, that girl, she's the it girl. She's whatever term they use. People see them as high class. They see them as cool. They see them as, oh, this person is sophisticated. Why? Because they went for a brand. How can we make that happen with DSD? How can we create a brand experience? Let me tell you, to build a brand is not cheap. You can build a company, but to build a brand is not cheap. It will take effort, but you always see the result. To build a brand can look something like, you know what, all the staff say, you know what, we want to start wearing jackets. That's an example. All the staff say, you know what, all the ladies will come in made up, we're going to have our hair slicked back, all the gentlemen, like, you know, they're always dressed a certain way. That, you don't need to tell people we're trying to achieve something. Customers will come and say, oh, I like those guys. Every time I go there, it's like, wow, they're always dressed up. It says something about your company. And then people could begin to think like, oh, I like those guys, I want to go there. Maybe the ladies are always dressing like really good, and when the client comes like, oh, I like your style, I'm going to dress like that tomorrow. Guess what? We've just formed a bond. That's one way. You're reinforcing the brand. You're saying this is a company of cool people. This is a company of fashionable people. We know we're trendy, we're sophisticated. There's so many ways that you can build your brand. It's also the experience when people come in. What is the space looking like? Is it looking tardy? Are the chairs all over the place? You know, is there one part of the ceiling that is off? Those little things, they tell people something about you. And that's why in every department, you've got to do your work beautifully in such a way that it communicates to the client. We are sophisticated people, we are professionals, we know our job, we know what to do, we know how to do it. Your brand experience starts from the very moment somebody interacts with anything about DSD. For instance, I see a post on social media and I see DSD. Like, the first time I see anything DSD media, there's an impression being made in my head based on what I saw. We all know what it's like with social media. Why do you follow the way you follow? It's like maybe their reels are always good, or they always go to the biggest parties. There's a reason why you're following them. The same way, there's a reason why people will follow you, because of the experience that you give them. And the experience starts from even something as little as the social media post. Then when I come to your website, what is there? Are the pictures sharp and clean? You know, or are they like, you know, it's like WhatsApp image uploaded to the web? Do you see what I'm saying? Is it high resolution images? Are the videos crisp, beautiful? Is there a mistake? You know, if like I see a video and it's like 2 errors, it says something. It says something. So we want to be very particular. And then after they've seen the post, they went to the website, then I'm gonna call, right? And I want to book a session, for instance, for the podcast. How the person spoke to me, how long the phone was ringing. Was it ringing for 20 minutes? Did it first say, like for like 5 minutes before I could actually say, I want to talk to someone? All of that is part of the brand experience. And then when the person finally picks up, What are they like? Is their tone warm? Do they sound friendly? Or they say, oh yeah, sorry ma'am. Oh, sorry, stop that. Sorry, excuse me ma'am. All of those things are saying something about your company, right? And then they finally book the session, the follow-up, right? And we can apply this to every other business. The follow-up is an email. Please be reminded you have a session with us at 2 p.m. today. We advise that you arrive 20 minutes before time. There's parking available at here. Did you think of everything for them and make sure that they got here without stress? Or you want them to go figure it out? You just get to my company, where you park is not my headache. You understand? Everything is part of creating that brand experience. When they do get in here, are you organized? Are you courteous? Are the colleagues well mannered? Or are they fighting with each other? You know, do we walk in when there's tension? How are you able to manage all of these things and make sure the client doesn't experience all that? That is part of the brand experience. Guess what happens when I come and I have a great time? From the moment I sent a DM, how quickly they responded, to when I booked a session, how nice the person sounded, how seamless the process was, to when I came in here, the service was great, they checked on me for feedback, is everything good, are you satisfied, the quality of the product is great. Guess what's going to happen? I'm going to come back. And when people call me to say, hey, do you know a very good podcast? I'm like, yes, it's in Dara. Dara, don't worry, you should go there. Great experience. Do you know that? You are the ones that get to create this experience, and everybody is important. Can we say together, everybody is important? Everybody is important. Can I hear it more loudly? Everybody is important. Everybody is important. From customer care, social media, production guy, the guy who's just on the camera, everybody is important in creating the brand experience, right? So I wanted us to play a bit with this. I know that this one is for the tourism. This one. I won't spend much time here now, but I want us to take it away and digest this, right? This is for the tourism, and I'd advise that the one for every branch of the global company is created. So DSD Media should have its own vision, mission, the Realtor side, its own mission and vision. Every arm of the business should have its own mission and vision. This is not just English. It's not just words. This is our guidebook. This is the vision put together by management, and it's like, this is who we want to be. This is who we are. And so as a staff member, you have to internalize this and let this show in everything that you do, right? If we say that our vision, for instance, is to be the trusted bridge between dreams and destinations. It says trusted bridge between dreams and destination. Guess what? If I call you and I say I want to start my podcast here, I have a dream of a beautiful podcast. That's just a dream. And I need somebody I can trust to take me to my destination. The question is, who can I trust? If I need to buy a property, if I need to book a family trip, I need someone that I can trust. And how do I know that I can trust them? They listen to me when I speak. And they tell me, oh, is this what you're trying to accomplish? They're patient with me. They empathize with me. You know? That's how I know I can trust them, because they're not just thinking about money, they're thinking about me. That's the way to win a customer. You're not just thinking about just pay the money to the account. It is, how can I really serve you? What do you really want? How can I make it happen? You make it happen for them, brand loyalty. Check. That is how it works. Any questions or comments so far? Any questions? Contribution? I saw a lot of
The
head.
reason the brands, they are asking to the people, why you want to do this? The question is from the parents, but from the people like when they're asking something. We are trying to know. I think it's in terms of members and like they have one question. They are introduced. Why you want to join us?
Why do you want to join our company?
Yes.
Because they've built a brand.
Exactly.
can we build DSD to the point where someone says, it's my life dream to work here? Guess who's gonna make it happen? You! It's not anybody from outside. The clients don't make that happen. The reason why Emirates is Emirates is because from the moment you think, I want to travel, everything is sorted. I traveled to Marrakesh just a few weeks back, got to the airport, I didn't even have my Emirates ID. Guess what? I didn't need it. I didn't need to print anything. I just got there, put my bag, I checked in myself, put my passport there, my bag I went through, everything was so seamless. I got to Marrakesh, different story. And then it's like, oh my God, Emirates is the best. How can you create that experience for your customers? Such that when they go, the day they make a mistake and go elsewhere, they will say, DSD is the place to go. It's not the management that will do it. It is the staff. The staff is the lifeblood of any company. And guess what I said earlier? You have to make money to pay money. If we work well, we create this brand loyalty, we get our customers to be loyal, to bring us more customers, it means we make more money. It means our company can expand. It means the person who is new, who just started today, maybe by the end of the year, she's a supervisor, which means more money. It means that we can hire new people. It means that people who are just normal staff today will be managers tomorrow, because the company is growing, and you are the ones that make that happen. They will provide the vision. They will say, okay, you know what, let's bring Lady Maya to come and do a training. They're paying me to do this, you do know that. And you are the ones that will take this knowledge, and we want you to use it for DSD, because it's for you. Ultimately, no one can take this from you. Any other? Thank you so much for that contribution. That's a beautiful example of how we can build something that people are struggling to become the staff, not even to be the client, right? So that's what we want to build. Any other contribution, question? None? You break my heart. There's got to be something you've experienced on the job that you want to bring to our notice and maybe ask a question.
Everything is clear.
Okay, that's good feedback for me. All right, so let's give ourselves a framework that we can use when we talk about brand experience. Now, a few things to note. There's the ABC model. It's more like attract. Let me read it out. Attract, build, convert. Attract, build, convert. Over here. Attract, build, convert. Attract them, build the experience, build them up, serve them, convert them to customers, and beyond customers, convert them to ambassadors. Your mission is not just to get clients, it's to get ambassadors. People who you would not pay, but they will go on their Instagram and say, guys, this is the best company in Dubai. When you can get that, check, you've done a great job. That's what we want to do. Attract, build, convert. And we always have to check our processes. I remember the last time we talked about how the booking system, right? I would like to know if we've put it to practice, if we've tested it out, because as simple as it seems, you'll be shocked that that is what will guarantee that somebody has a great experience, a booking experience. If my booking experience with you is bad, then in my mind, maybe the even shooting is going to be bad. So even before the technical guys get to meet the client, admin, you are making or breaking it with the booking experience. So attract, build, convert. And one way you want to do it is when you get back to your various offices, you want to run a test. You almost want to simulate when we get a new customer, what's the first touch point? Is it by phone? Is it on social media? And then you reenact that process till end game, till when they pay. What is the experience like? You can hire a friend if you like to say, come to our company and act like a stranger. And you give us feedback on what it was like. Do you know when they do fire drills? You know fire drills, right?
Yes.
What do you think they're doing? They're testing it out. They're not waiting till that day to see what happens. They're going to simulate that scenario to say, now we've done the training, now let's do an example, a test. After the test, we can then review. Oh, you know you were supposed to go through the stairs, not use the elevator. They go, oh, okay. Or you were supposed to gather all the children, or you were supposed to do this. In the testing is when you know. If you don't test, you don't know. And what happens when you don't know? The day it happens, there's the chance that you will fumble. Somebody will do something, and then your test running with the client. We don't want to do that. Let's test run with ourselves so that we make sure the client has a great experience. Is that good? Who's committing that some of these things we say, some of these frameworks, you will actually go to test them out? Are we committing to that? Who's going to lead it? I need leaders in every team who will be responsible for making sure we test out this framework. Can I get someone from the realtor side? Yeah, but I need a leader. A leader means somebody is taking responsibility. So you take the charge. So meaning the next time I see you, I'm going to be asking you how it was. For the podcast team, who's taking the lead?
Podcast, I'm doing podcast also.
So let's do this one.
I have done before podcast.
Can we take, do you want the realtor or the podcast? Choose one.
Both.
No, you have to choose one.
Podcast.
You want the podcast? Okay, so I'll leave Madam Alice aside.
I'm always one.
So, beyond the laughs and the jokes, we really need to test it out. I don't want us to just go from here, listen. Oh, that was great. And then we just go back to normal.
Yeah.
Right? We have to learn and execute. That's the only way we make progress. Yes, follow up. Okay, so let's move to another pillar. We're looking at quality assurance, very similar to brand experience. For quality assurance, what is the process to make sure that our work is top quality? Do we have any processes in place? Say for the podcast. And I know the podcast is yet to be fully functional, but we need to have these processes in place. For instance, with the editing team, there's got to be, so imagine that there's a team of 10 guys managed by one manager or leader, supervisor, and 10 of those people are editing different podcast videos. Is one person going to edit and send to clients directly, or does it have a system it passes through? So I'll give you an example, a practical example of the newsroom, for instance. And I make a lot of reference to the newsroom for two reasons. That's like my foundation. Two, everybody can relate to TV, news, and all that. So in the newsroom, you would have a bunch of writers or reporters, people who go to gather the stuff. We interview people, you do all of that. When you're done, you make sure the editor on duty sees your work before it goes out. You don't just take it and post it. Never. You don't create the TV reel, the TV show, whatever, and just send it to air or send it to Khaleej Times or Love in Dubai. Never. You do your work as a reporter, as a journalist, then it goes to the editor. And sometimes there are more levels. Sometimes if I have a producer that is supervising me, it goes to my producer. My producer sees it. Before it goes to the editor sees it. Some people, somebody is in charge of looking at it again before it finally goes out. Why? Because the brand reputation is important. You don't want to build your company with trial and error. You want to do all your errors. You want to make all your mistakes internally. And how do we avoid mistakes going out? Quality assurance. So if we do not have any processes yet, we want to think about implementing some of them, particularly for the podcast, for instance. You want to make sure there's somebody in charge before it goes out. Mercy. I don't know if the podcast team are listening, because this is important. You don't want it to just go from the person who's worked on it and straight to the client. There's got to be quality assurance process before it goes out. So we protect our brand image. So we make sure that the client is not coming back with, you guys did it wrong, you didn't do it right. Okay? Any questions so far?
Actually, I'm not satisfied with your delivered this lecture about quality.
About quality, but I'm not done.
We're still not done. Still.
Is there something you're looking forward to hearing that you haven't heard?
Means quality assurance means how we can satisfy our customer and what type of quality we have to
Deliver. Have I not communicated that? Okay.
So means just like if the quality in broadcast all depends upon this our recorder that what they are going to be. Like if just like before I have done this broadcast here with a good person, a guest list one by name of Vikas. Then I received so this is not my field.
Mm.
That is, this is our engineer.
So are you talking about something you experienced
Broadcast.
here already?
Yeah, here this depend upon our record room, engineers, everything there. How we can deliver quality to our clients.
For the podcast?
Yeah.
So my question is, did you record a podcast here?
Yes.
So can you share your experience with us?
Yeah.
What went wrong? What didn't you like?
Yeah, as I delivered and I made it on Facebook and different Instagram and other people replied that there is quality is very quality means that color scheme, sound system, everything must that depend that different angles.
Yeah.
So this depend upon your cameraman. That camera angles and color and especially sound system. So I think that in my experience this depend upon our engineers and this.
100%, and it'd be great to have them here. So can we
Quality
have,
assurance.
did you communicate this with the team?
Yeah, we discussed it.
And what was the resolution? What did we agree to do going forward?
They told me that next time we will improve the
So to highlight what the problems were, the color grading, the sound, that means the audio settings,
angles.
and the angles. So how did we communicate it to
Yeah,
them?
we communicated and they told me that next time.
And then what happened to what you posted? Was it maybe brought down?
Yeah.
Was deleted? Do we think that maybe if we put out bad work, we should delete it and remove it from,
And
if it's still retrievable? Do we agree? Why?
Most important, editing. The most important point in quality assurance in podcast is editing. Suppose if I made this podcast 2 hours, so we want to present in 50 minutes. So what type of editing is there, that is very important.
Good. So we would, I would like the podcast team to respond to this because they are the ones who did the work, and then we can see how we want to use this as an example to
Edit.
make progress. But you were saying something about, should we pull down stuff?
No, not to you.
Watching their own video, what was the mistake, then they are putting them for the next video, they are doing that. I'm not a media guy, so like, this is just carry.
So the content that was created, I'll come to you. The content that was posted, did it carry anything about DSD Media? It did. Do you think that maybe you would reconsider about pulling down or retrieving as much as possible content that doesn't show the quality that reflects well on us? You know why I'm asking? Because there's a difference if I do something like the Lady Maiwa, just me, and I post it, and I say it's just me, as opposed to if I say that a company is offering a service, and I post that, oh, this company is offering this service, this is what they're doing, and it's not of good standard, do you not think that that mistake will reflect badly on the company that is offering this service? Would you reconsider pulling down content that is not worthy? Compensate. What do we think? What would you compensate with?
I don't know, for my personal view, the posts I make when I open my TikTok, the posts I make now, I post them, so I can see where I'm changing and I see. And so whenever I post something and it's not what I want, then I compensate with other posts with a better one.
So who are we trying to compensate here? The client or the people who are going to see it online that DSD made this?
Somebody.
How do we compensate them?
Depends like what topic is going. For example, like if it is specifically about the production company, of course, out there where the
Nobody is responsible.
if this is only just a conversation between people and they are speaking about the politics, they will not care.
Yeah.
They will not know the part like how this is running. They will just listen. So the things matter like if it's connected to each other or not.
So are you pro taking down the content or leaving it? You leave it. And improving. Live good as a company. What do we think? This side is very quiet. What's going on? What do we think? Pull down the content or leave it on? Let me just reiterate. DSD Media has created a podcast episode that is of low quality. The angles are not good, the sound isn't good, the color grading isn't good, and somebody has posted online that this is DSD Media. And then people say, oh, this is bad quality, blah, blah, blah. Should we pull down the content or should we leave it and compensate by creating better content?
Better.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, for me, it's living it and creating
Better content.
people like to associate with growth. If you're able to bring the better content, it will attract them more to you.
Because they can see that you're growing.
Is growing. This person has corrected his mistake. And people identify better such person.
Actually, a good point. I would have advocated for taking it down. But again, sometimes it just depends on people. For me, if it's retrievable, I would try and retrieve it. Why? Because I want as much as possible control the perception. So because if I can reach everybody that saw that piece of content again, then maybe I will leave it. But because I don't know who has seen it, you know, I don't know who has seen it. But then again, this is my personal take. And sometimes content is not always retrievable. You can't always retrieve your mistakes. Sometimes maybe you can, sometimes maybe you can't. But I think the big lesson here is being growth focused, which is a really good thing. And he's mentioned something. What process do we put in place to make sure the stuff is good? So how are we as a company going to make sure that our podcasts are good before we push ourselves out there? Do we need more eyes looking at the content? You know, do we need more tests?
Yes.
Perhaps. So maybe it's a case of we want to be the judge of each other, not judge in a bad way, but you, what do you think? This is what we've just done. What do you think? What do you think? Then you would come and say, oh, I saw a podcast from this company. They actually did it this way. I remember what I said earlier. I said, do not put your colleague down. The same way, if a mistake comes from one part, you try and cover each other's errors. And you look out for one another. So it doesn't matter if you're on the real estate side or the travel side. If you see something show, say it. I say, podcast team, listen, I saw this. I think it's really good. Can you guys try and, because we're one family. It's not a competition. If the podcast grows, it means we are growing as a company. Right? So let's see a framework that we can use. With quality assurance, it's not a lot of grammar. It's actually the process and the systems. It's not about English. It is who's checking this, what is the standard we have set for ourselves. Sometimes you need a mood board. Right? Do you know what a mood board is? Sometimes you need a mood board to say, this is our mood board. And a mood board is, you can create it very easily. You can get pictures or a video somewhere and you put it together. You can put it in like a frame, or you can have it digitally and say, for every episode of a podcast, we want it to look like this. The color grading has to look like this. So you see how Pinterest, for instance, you see all those beautiful pictures. Sometimes you just go and grab a couple and say, this is what we want it to look like. And then the technical guys will go back on the technical front and say, technically, how do we achieve this? Do we need a software? Do we need to train? Do we need to train someone to go and learn how to do this? What do we need to achieve this? Because ultimately, for the end user, which is your client, they don't want to know the number of the color grade. They just want to see beautiful work. And that's why sometimes, ladies, you can relate with this. You want to make a new hairstyle. You just carry the picture, yeah? And say, listen, can you make this? I don't want to know if it's fake hair, real hair, borrowed hair, donor hair. Make me look like this. The same thing. People want a certain level. We have to make sure we're meeting them at that level and even exceeding. And the first way to do that quality assurance is actually within, you know what, you don't want to use your clients as your lab rats. Don't test on your clients. Test on yourselves. Does that answer the question? Do you think that you're hearing what you'd like to hear?
Basically, this is quality depend upon process.
Mm-hmm.
Process is the base of quality.
Exactly what I said. Yeah. And we want to make sure that we're always improving. We don't want to settle. Oh, the clients are happy, this is good. How can we take it to the next level? And beyond what others are doing, what can you do so that others can copy you? What can you create so that others can say, oh my God, do you see what DSD is doing? Let's do it that way. You can be the one setting the pace. So one framework you can do, very simple framework. Ultimately, it's in the doing. It's not in the English. It's plan, do, check, act. We plan. We plan. This is our plan. We don't act when the thing is happening. We plan ahead. So if it takes the team to say, what do we want? How are we going to get it done? We plan. We do. We do what we say we want to do. We check. You go back and check. Did we achieve what we said we wanted to achieve? If we did, great. If we didn't, what do we need to do? And then we act again on what we need to do. It's a process thing, and there's no two ways about it. So it'd be great to hear, the podcast guys aren't really here. It'd be great to, hear from them how we plan to take this forward. So it's not just talk, it's also action. Again, one thing you can do is simulate. I've talked about this a lot. You reenact the thing. That's one way to assure quality. You reenact it. You can get a friend to come in and say, you don't know us, you're not our friend, you're just a regular customer, you're going to do this and this. When it's all done, the person then gives you feedback. And we're actually planning to do a bit of that with some of the friends in our network to say, we want you to come and use the studio, give us your feedback. Because then they can shield us. They know we're trying to grow. They already understand we're trying to grow. Give us your feedback. And then we take that feedback and put it into action. Any other questions or comments? Next. So I guess I got the pass mark there, yeah? Okay, let's go to communications, and this is our final bus stop, like they say. How do we improve internal and external communication? Can I ask a simple question? How did you know about this meeting today? How were you told? WhatsApp group. Okay, WhatsApp is a good way. Is it possible for anyone to miss that message? It is, yeah. Is there a group specific for announcements and things like that? That is strictly announcements, no chats, no nothing. That's good. How else could we have improved on that? Email, calendar. Who's got a calendar here? Who doesn't have a calendar? So you should get one.
I have everything on my phone.
So that's one way you can improve internal communication, and I'm sure that's your territory. How we can just take it to the next level in, for instance, internal memos. And I know maybe there's not one board where everybody's seeing it, but an email, add this to your calendar, it makes it seamless, smooth, and it makes it just more professional. In general, people can ascribe a level of importance to it. The way you deliver something, also, it helps people to see, oh, how important is this? How am I on time? Now, this is the last pillar. So we're looking to improve our internal and external communications, and we're going to look at 7 C's of communication. Communication is everything. Like, it is a bedrock of everything that we do. The growth that you've seen in humanity is a lot to do with communication. How things were created, how we came together for this meeting, what we're using in this meeting, it's all communication. How you get the client from interest level to paying level, communication. That's the bedrock of business. Bad communication, bad business. Bad communication, bad office culture. Have you been to some offices where people just talk to each other anyhow? Where the boss can actually say you're stupid. Have you been to? Where staff can talk to each other and say, that's it. They can use the F word.
Your boss will tell you go ahead. And then you answer, don't you know I'm already in F?
You sound like somebody that can say that. Communication is a bedrock of everything. How we speak to each other determines a lot the energy that we exchange as a team. There is no team bonding where there is bad communication. There is no staff loyalty where there is bad communication. They will only be loyal to the money. They will not be loyal to you. If the staff are not bonded, the service will show. Because you will not cover for her, and she will not cover for you. And then the client will see the gap, you will lose the business, ultimately, money is leaving the company. So we need to improve our communication. If there's a way that we're talking to each other that is not edifying, that is not professional, warm, friendly, we want to review it. And we actually even want to create some guidelines as a company to say, this sort of language is not accepted. And what does that mean with conflict? Because we will not always be happy, 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 high five, hey babe, how are you? What did you eat last night? We will not always be that way. There will always be conflict. Wherever there are humans, there will always be conflict. So what happens when there's conflict? How do we make sure we're communicating conflict? That you did something and I don't like it. Because when people begin to use bad words with each other, what are they saying? You've done something I don't like. The boss is saying, you've not done your job well. I'm not happy. I'm paying you salary, but you're not doing your job. The colleague is saying, you were supposed to do this, you didn't do it. I had to pick up the slack for you. I had to spend more time at work when I should be with my family, or I missed my boss because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. How do we communicate that? And we'll get to We'll get to this. And who wants to remind me why it's important for us to have good communication? 2 reasons. And I really
Today I was very happy and honestly make sure that you have
Who did that?
I'm not
Are they
paying
here?
them
No, it's
because-
fine.
I think it's here and this one.
Can we give him a round of applause? Oh, my God. That's what we're talking.
married.
Woo!
And she will have 2 babies.
Yes,
His wife will not like that. But that is the way to go. We want to build a culture that is immersive, that is friendly. Listen, I tell people, you spend most of your life. I know there are a lot of videos out there that say your colleague is your colleague, you're not your friend. But listen, you spend the majority of your life in the work environment. If you started work at 20 and you retire at 60, that is a chunk of your life spent at work. You better, number one, be doing what you like doing. Make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. Because if you don't enjoy it, you won't give your best at it. And it will show. Number 2, make sure you have good relationship with your colleagues. Whether you're here for 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, make sure you have a good relationship. Because why? Time is life. And what's the point of spending your own life in a bad environment? And how can we make sure that our environment is good and worth living in? Good communication. It means when you're angry with me, there's a way to communicate that anger. You don't shout at me. I mean, who's paying good salary except the boss? If you're my colleague, you're not paying my salary, right? And I'm not your junior sister. There's this thing back home in Africa, it's like, I'm older than you. People bring age to the office. I hope we don't do that here. We're colleagues. We're professional people. So it's not a matter of I'm older than you are or you're older than I am. It is we respect each other. And when 2 people respect each other, it doesn't matter what their age is. There should be no room for I'm older than you, you're older than me, because we respect each other. I have friends who are like almost 10 years older than I am. They're my friends. I call them by their first name. Because there's respect. In the newsroom, when we're on TV, no matter how old that person is, you refer to them by their first name. It's professional language. When there's a good rapport in the office, people can say, hi, Harry. It doesn't matter if Harry is 15 years older. It's because the respect is not because I said sir. You can say sir and you don't respect them. So how do we make sure that our communication is good? How do we make sure that our communication is clear and concise? You see, the way you speak can bring confusion or clarity. Are we having a meeting or not? Well, the boss might say something about it. I don't know. And you are the one who's supposed to know. Are we having a meeting or not? What should be the response? It's either a yes, or it's a no, or it's I'm not sure at this time. We'll send a WhatsApp message. So imagine that somebody's supposed to be off today. And yesterday they had said maybe there's going to be a meeting at 2 o'clock. And now it's 12 p.m. The person who's still at home, who plans to come for the meeting at 2, but hasn't seen a message, is like, are we having this meeting or not? There's got to be clear and concise communication. Yes, we're having this meeting. No, we're not having this meeting. At this time, we're not sure. I will inform you in 1 hour. I will inform you in 30 minutes. I'll call the boss and I'll confirm. Your communication should always be clear. Don't leave people thinking, is it a yes or is it a no? Same thing with your clients. Same thing with your colleagues. Same thing from top to bottom and bottom to top. Communication should always be clear and concise. Again, active listening plays a good role in communication. Making sure you're listening to understand what they're saying. And another way to take it further is, after someone has spoken to you, you then reiterate what they said. let's practice. Mercy, tell me anything. Like you're trying to explain something. Anything. End it with a question. Did you hear a question? Come, stand up. Let's do a little public speaking session. In public speaking, you have to project. Projecting shows confidence. Not, I'm not putting you on the spot because I noticed a few people project. It shows confidence. It helps people hear what you're saying, and they don't have to say, what did you say? Or sometimes, because they don't want to offend you, they think they've heard what you said, and they actually go and do the wrong thing. Especially when there's like a boss situation, a boss and somebody who's a staff. It's like, have you ever experienced that? You're listening to somebody, and then when the person says, oh, thank you so much for coming, everybody claps, and then you're like, what did he say? No, that's not how to communicate, because you have not communicated. If when the person speaking said, at the end of this session, I want everybody to go and write me a letter. If people didn't hear you, guess what will happen? They're not going to write a letter. Then you will be angry that I told them to write a letter, they didn't write it. They didn't hear you. So let's learn to project. So you're going to project, and you're going to say the same thing you said, but end it with a question. What we're trying to do now is active listening, how to practicalize active listening, and now we can take it a step further.
Okay, we have sent out our invitation to guests. We have some that responded, we have some that did not. So what should we do with guests that have not responded?
So if I heard you correctly, you're talking about the event on Sunday and the guest list, particularly the people that I invited that haven't responded, and you want to know what you should do about it. What did I just do?
If you will give me 100 names in that list, these are 100 mediums of communication.
No, what did I just do?
I'm asking. 100, these are WhatsApp, email, this. Only one medium is best, telephone.
Well, you're not answering my question. What did I just do with Bessie?
Yeah, she's asking, she's saying that
She said something.
Delivered,
Then what did I do?
You must ask something.
Who wants to try? Good try. Who wants to tell me what I did?
You're sure you understand? You're sure you understand what you have said?
What was the message?
I repeated what she said.
Clarify.
For clarification, to show her that I understand what she said. Now, if I missed it, guess what she will do? She'll say, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is blah, blah, blah. And then what will I do again? Oh, you mean that X, Y, Z, until the time she says, yes, that's what I'm saying. As communication happened at that point, yes. I understand it, sorry, not understand it, where did I come from? I understood what she said, and she confirmed that I got it. Communication has happened. And it can only happen because there's active listening. How can you test that you're listening actively? Repeat what has been said for clarification. If there's any misunderstanding, she will come back to you. You will go back to her until we are on the same. Thank you so much. Please give her a round of applause. Until we are on the same page. Communication has not happened. We have to be on the same page. You can try this as colleagues. You can try it with your client. You can try it with the boss. Try it with anybody. It works. It works. And that means there's less room for error. And then the client will come and say, that's not what I said. But I thought you said, get it from the beginning. That's how to leave little room for errors. And then you want feedback mechanisms as well. I talked about when there's conflict, how do we What's the means that we go about it? Number one rule, if you speak when you're angry, likelihood that you will say something not nice is very high. Whether to a client, whether to your colleague, in the heat of the moment, if you choose to, very likely you will say something not nice. And remember what they say about a broken egg. Once the egg breaks, you can't really put it back. You can use a paper towel and clean it and wash it, but you can't really piece the egg back together. Whatever it is we can't take away, let's avoid giving it. And the best way to do that, do not speak when you're angry. And you can tell people, please do give me a moment to put myself together. You can tell them, please give me a moment. Yes. It's like, can I come back to you on this? People will say, okay. Because you ask nicely, you're angry, you take a moment. If you want to go to the toilet and bash your head against the wall, be my guest. So don't do that with a client, don't do that with your colleague. Get yourself together when you're a bit calmer, and then you can come back and say, actually, I didn't appreciate what happened. I felt, and try not to attack people. You can tell them how you felt, how they made you feel. I actually felt disrespected because of what you said. I really don't like it, and I'd appreciate, do you see my words? I'd appreciate if you didn't call me those names again. You're being courteous. Now I'm jumping into my 7 C's. So 7 C's of communication, you want to be clear, like I said. Ensure there's no room for error. You want to be concise. When you speak too much sometimes, errors come in. When you're trying to put one long page of the email, there will be miscommunication. Try to be to the point. To the point, as much as possible, be concise. Concrete, solid information. Do you need data? Do you need this? This is the figure. Write it out clearly. If you like, highlight in bold, so there's no mistake. You want to put concrete evidence or examples. You want to be correct. Make sure what you're sharing is correct. Do not misinform people. If you're not sure, it's better to be sure before you send it. Better to be sure before you send it. You want to be coherent. You know some people, they like English. They just like grammar. It's like, oh, you know, and I'll give you a personal example that happened to me. So I'm the bad person in this picture. I was talking to one of my clients, and on a WhatsApp group, there's an event that they're putting together. And I said, oh, can we get together for a group huddle on Thursday? And someone said, sorry, what is huddle? I was just trying to say, let's get into a group meeting. Why didn't I just say meeting? Then I said huddle, and someone is like, what did she say? Anytime anyone has to use a dictionary to understand what you're saying, you're wrong. If they need to get a dictionary, so I was wrong in that scenario. So you see, we're not all perfect. Anytime anyone has to use a dictionary, you're wrong. Use simple, clear, everyday English that, makes your communication logical. It makes sense. They can trace it from A to B to C, not A and Z and X and J, and it's like, where are you? Make it coherent, logical. If you need someone to do something, give them the step by step. Don't model it up, okay? We want to be complete, everything that they need. If you're sending an email, oh, there's a training on Friday, the staff will be expected to be there at 1:45 p.m. Please ensure that your dressing is appropriate for the meeting. What is appropriate? Do you see that there's a mistake? There's already a problem in. Make sure you wear what is appropriate. The question then becomes, what is appropriate? Because your definition of appropriate is different from hers. So what should be said? What should the person say there? Who wants to give an example? Come on. You should specify, right? It is, you're expected to come in corporate wear, meaning you can put i.e. shirt and pants, jacket or a dress. Don't say appropriate dressing, because your appropriate is different from mine. Do not leave room for misinterpretation. And you want to be courteous. be polite, be respectful at all times. Whether the client was nasty, whether your colleague was nasty, be courteous at all times. It's to your own plus that you are courteous and polite. These are the 7 C's of communication. How do we make sure that we're on the right path, we're on the right page? We are creating a good company culture using communication. This is what we do. Okay? So, any questions thus far?
I have objection.
Oh dear. Tell us.
You delivered more than 50 minutes lecture on communication, but you don't have good communication between you and Mr. Happiness about lunch.
About lunch.
No communication.
Mm.
You delivered long
This
lecture about
communication is between you and Mr.
you don't
Happiness.
have communication between.
So I'm
Mr.
guessing
Happiness
there's a
and
rumble in your
Mr.
tummy and you want to eat. Bercy, help me here. Oh, Madam Alice,
We have department.
help me here.
Well, we start at 2 p.m. It is before lunch. After lunch.
So meaning you were expected to have lunch
I'm sorry, we started after lunch, sorry.
after lunch. So you expected to
We
already
started 2
have
p.m.
your lunch.
and
Okay,
it
so
is after lunch.
The next time we have something like this, we'll make sure
Yeah.
that we
Make sure it's
discuss with
10 a.m.
management to do something.
No, we usually do, but
Right?
this is after.
Actually, they had done about, she had lunch, this is because she is not interested.
What?
You had lunch.
Because it's after 2 p.m. It's
So
after
pretty
lunch.
much you should have had lunch. So let's go down so that I can wrap this up and we can have interactive session, questions, whatever. The last bit is social media. Social media. And who's handling our social media? Yourself, yeah? Anyone else? Anyone else handling social media? Okay. So as much as I'll be talking to you two, still I want everybody to engage, right? So with our social media, just a few things that we need to do. Create a content plan. You can do it per week, you can do it per month. And creating a content plan makes you plan ahead. And what are some things you need to plan ahead for? Holidays. If you create a content plan, you already know when the holidays are happening. Another thing you will know is when there's like Black Friday. You don't want Black Friday to be tomorrow and it's like, oh my God, tomorrow is Black Friday. Can we create a poster? And Harry and the team are like, listen, we are busy. We're not available. And you're posting your Black Friday promo on Black Friday. That's not how it works. You post your Black Friday the week before as much as possible. But when you have a content plan, you can already strategize and say, oh, this is going to be Eid, this is going to be Salah, this is going to be the summer, this is going to be Black Friday. You already check the calendars, you know what's happening, and then you plan your content accordingly. Now, what is our responsibility, the rest of us? Even if we're not the ones handling social media, how many of us follow our page? If you follow the DSC page, okay. If you repost often, okay. So we want to make sure that we are sharing to our platforms. You see, one of the ways you can show the management that you're loyal to the company, that you are supporting the company, is by taking initiative. Do you understand? And it's not just on social media, it's WhatsApp stories. It's promoting the company. Why? If the as the company grows, we grow. So for the rest of us, we want to make sure that whatever the social media team are doing, let's support them. If you see something you like somewhere else and say, oh, I like how they did this, send it to them. That's part of covering for each other. Don't just say, oh, it's not my business. It's your business. Anything DSD is your business. Can we say that together? Anything DSD is my business. Can we take that again? Anything DSD is my business. Because if the company is growing, we are growing. Perhaps you will have a cousin who's looking for work in Dubai tomorrow. And if when the company is growing, it means you can say, hey HR, please, can you consider, do you know that majority of the jobs in Dubai don't make it on social media? Majority of the work on in Dubai, in the country, they don't make it to social media because companies always check within their networks, they check within their staff. Oh, we're looking for somebody, do you have somebody? It means your friend can get a job tomorrow. Why? Because your company is growing. If you don't build the company to grow, how are you able to support your friend or your family with a job? Everybody's coming to Dubai. Who's providing the jobs? So when we have a job, we want to support that company to grow. Because if the company grows, we can hire more. And guess who's the first beneficiary? The people that we know. Our friends, our colleagues. How many of you know people who are looking for jobs right now? I know. Do you know anyone looking for a job? Your friend maybe? All your friends have jobs? Oh, wow, I like your friends. We all have someone, one or two people, who really need a job. What if you had the power to say, I would introduce you to my company? And I'm sure they can get you a job. But if you're not supporting your company to grow, how is that going to happen? One of the ways you can support the company, spread the word on social media. It doesn't cost you extra. You're still going to pay for that data anyway. Support, maybe one tweet, one like, one comment, share it, tag other people. Tell people, oh, have you checked out DSD Media? That's one way we can support. All right? So I won't say too much about social media. I'll just focus on the team later. And I'd say that brings my session to a close. Thank you so much for being a wonderful, I thought I'd get a round of applause or something. So, questions, and I'm going to go around. So if you've been hiding, especially on this side, I'm coming to you. Yes. So what is your major takeaway today? What is something that was new to you? You probably didn't really know it, didn't really think about it, and now it's like, oh, good.
Well, for me, the one thing that struck me is probably the me, my patience is very low. But in my defense, before I get angry, I have used my patience. I have used my battery. So, what in my personally, I think I have to unnecessary stress in the office to create environment, a friendly environment. Not necessarily friendly, but just because I'm used to like pressures everywhere. The kind of work that I'm doing, like it needs attention of customer, and then also I have a pressure from back office to get the job what I have that need to be done because mostly I'm on the customer service, closing the deals, this and that, and that much amount of money is not just 1,000 dirhams. Yes. So what I'm doing personally is that I want to give them the best that you can. You as a customer, you ask me for a visa, and then I tell you this. I have to meet that standard. I have to meet your expectation beyond your expectation, so that after I've done the service, you could spread the word without me asking it, because that is very important. And for me doing it, I have to get my back office response on the things that I needed to do. I will let my client do what is needed to be done, and also I let my back office do what is. That is the between. So I was like a patty in a burger between protecting my company and also giving my client the best service that I could, satisfaction.
And sometimes you find yourself maybe coming hard on the back office.
Yes, exactly. So, but I think the best thing that is really communicating in a way that don't stress myself in a way that's beyond my control. Yeah, I will just communicate everything, but if it's not really my responsibility to do so, it's out of my hand.
Got it.
Yeah.
Maybe what we want to look at is, I know that, I can't remember the name right now, but I know that there's like a system or like a software or an app that you can put in tasks, and it also has deadlines. I don't know if it's Notion. Is it Notion?
No, I think it's a matter of communication, because I don't see any problem on our back office or anything. It's a matter of communication. You do this. Oh, you have the. For me, I like things organized. I'm organized. The only thing that's wrong for me is that when my patience have been used already, you will not
you make sure that before we get to that point where you probably
Because,
grow up?
see, no,
How do we-
I mean, for me, I think I have to be really, like, put my patience in not take it cool. Yeah, because I don't take people personally in the office. I only attack them as what they were, but not really personally. I'm still friendly in a way. However, I needed my client to be satisfied while my back office get the work done. That's it. I think
Is there a way to communicate the urgency, but still be nice and friendly in such a way that when you communicate, okay, now I have this client, this is the expectation. Do we put a deadline to say, the deadline for this task is this and this and this? And then maybe one thing you can now try is you then ask the person, what do you need to make this happen by this time? Because sometimes you just give the instruction, make this happen, da, 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 da. And we're not really caring, but the word is not care. We don't really know whatever else they have to do. Maybe Madam Alice already gave us something to, maybe, her leave is happening and now she's trying to just clean out our desk. Would it be possible to also just include this woman and say, what do you need to make this happen by X, Y, Z time? And that opens the door.
If that happens, that's when I blew up. But no, I mean, seriously, I like to learn more on the communication part because it's actually one thing of my weakness. I wanted to get things done accordingly, and if it doesn't happen, it gets me frustrated. Because I want my clients number
To
one
get the
thing that's
best.
yes, because see, for me it's really important. They will spread the word without you asking.
So do you think this one line can change things, even if it's just a little bit? To say, I'm giving you a task, I'm expecting you to deliver it on this date at this time. What do you need to make it happen? Then it gives them room to say, actually, I have X, Y, Z. Or actually, can you help me tell the boss that I need to not do what he asked me? Then let me focus on yours. Do you think that might help?
Yes, it does help. For me, understanding is I'm quite understandable person. However, it's just probably like what was said. I need things to take it cool and remove the things that is unnecessary. You know, because I tend to react right away, and then if I don't get what I want,
Maybe another thing you can try is email.
that doesn't work.
Send message.
Sending
Email.
message, WhatsApp is
You know,
everything.
with email,
You have to send a message.
number one, you've got to type.
Yes.
Typing is already one filter.
Yes.
It makes you,
Arrange
okay, you
your-
know what, this is nasty. Let me try again. Because if you have to say it, remember what I said about if you're angry, whatever you say when you're angry, most likely it won't be the best version of the thing. So maybe try email. Because there's a professional way to say, are you okay? Are you serious right now? So maybe do an email, and then you can copy that same email to say, I sent this email at XYZ time, it's been 24 hours, can I please get an update? And sometimes what works is you copy multiple people. You copy the boss, you copy Alice, you say, dear XYZ, this task is already due, can you give me an update? When that person sees that the bosses are being copied, it works like magic, I bet you. All right, any other comments, any takeaways? What was interesting for you? Sam?
Yeah, I think I want to give a little bit of suggestion. How people should control their emotions. That's one of the things that I want to stay. And especially, that's one of the things I learned in life is control your anger. Not to allow people to determine how you behave. If you allow people to determine how you behave, you will get things wrong. Some people will purposely make you to misbehave. They will be monitoring you, and when you are supposed to do what is right, they make sure they affect your emotions. So since I learned that, nobody determines my behavior. No matter what you do, you can do something to make me angry. That is the time I start laughing. I will not get angry, but I don't want you to control my emotions. So we should come to that point in life where you don't allow people to determine how you act, how you react. Just be yourself and talk like it. They can get you angry. Just have it in mind that if I get angry, it means that this person is controlling my they can make me to be angry because I'm not myself. So you just cool it down and do what you're supposed to do. So this is one thing I do myself that have helped me a lot. And nobody determines how I feel. You become what you.
Sometimes it's also just removing yourself from that situation to just take a breather, like I said. Sometimes you just need to remove yourself from that space to regroup and then address the situation after.
Yeah, I just want to give another way to have self-control is to have respect for others and dignify yourself. You know, if you find yourself, for example, in a gathering where you have dignified people, executives, no matter, even if they step on your toe,
You smile.
you smile.
Oh, it's
It
You
is
can-
always
you can do
okay
it
when
again.
you are in a plane. It's okay when you are, in such a gathering. So if you have respect for where you are and yourself, you're trying to make a statement. This is who I am, you know. I know sometimes it's really very bad, but you just walk away. I think the best way, to be honest with you, is to learn to walk away, no matter how bad it is. You want it done, but then it's not coming, and you don't have control over it. So if you don't have control over it, why will you get a bad reputation for that? Because somebody else is not doing his job. So don't give yourself a bad reputation, because no matter how you put it, anger is anger. It's giving a bad, reputation to you. So just find a way to walk away from it, outgrow it. Don't allow other people determine what they should call you, like boss just said. So if the back office is not doing their job, that doesn't mean that you should have a bad name. You understand? It's just to let the back office see that you are crossing your boundary. You are affecting what I'm supposed to do, my delivery, my client. Because we are all trying to achieve same thing. Grow the company, expand the business, keep good companies, and then have our clients come back and refer us. So if they refer you, they are referring the company. If they are referred, they want to come back to you, you are also making the good deal for the company. So, but then don't put yourself in the middle to get the bad reputation because you want to please or satisfy your client.
I think another, you see, I like what you said. We're all trying to do the same thing. What drives one to anger and outburst is the passion they have for the world. The passion for, so it's actually, in a sense, a commendable thing that someone has active emotion because they're passionate about it. It is how do we channel this passion in such a way that there's still like harmony, there's no bad rep. And another way that I found, and I used to be someone who was also very particular. I want something done this certain way. And I didn't trust people to get stuff done, so I was always doing everything myself. But you can't really go far if you do it that way. Say, they won't do it the right way, I'm gonna do it myself. So I had to learn to trust people. I had to learn to delegate and be open that this person may not get it. And one, I would say a trick, maybe a trick is not the best word, but one trick is when you give people, make them feel like, I need you. Like, I believe that you can make this happen. You're a key part of this thing. When you make them feel like an important part of that thing, then the likelihood is that they want to please you. And guess what? One thing we can always try, and this is for everyone, try feedback and commendation. It works. When you just take any opportunity to say, I just want to openly thank, like what he did. When I said, can you tell us who reminded you of the meeting? And then we clapped for them. What do you think that does to them? They would keep doing it, right? People do again and again what they know they'll get applauded for, what they know they'll get recognized for. So that's another way, another thing that you can try to say, you know what, and maybe we want to make it part of our company culture. There's a reason why we would do staff of the month, all of those things is to encourage people and reinforce good behavior. So sometimes, even among colleagues, you want to acknowledge someone and say, I just want to acknowledge so and so who helped me too. And you can do it on LinkedIn. I hope you guys are engaging with each other on LinkedIn. You say, oh, I just got a client this week and it was a big boost for my company. I want to thank my colleagues X and Y who also assisted me in getting this deal. And everybody will go and like them and follow them, and they will feel like, oh wow, I'm part of it. They will do it again and again. Any other questions, comments? And I know we're out of time. So that means out of time. One more comment or question. You can give yourself a round of applause. Thank you so much for being an active participant, an active audience. I really appreciate the time. I'm someone who's personally always open to feedback. So if there's anything that you felt, oh, actually, this didn't really work, I wanted to hear this, or this was good, because feedback is two ways. Sometimes it's good feedback, sometimes it can be better feedback. I'm open to feedback. I'll hang around for a few more minutes. So whether it's you liked it, I'd like to hear, or whether, oh, I wanted to hear this and I didn't hear it, I'll also like to hear it. I'd like to thank the management, Madam Alice, Mr. Freeborn, Bercy, who's been very supportive, and all the amazing guys, especially at the podcast team who I've been working with. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to Sunday. Please, wear your best, okay? Like, look good, okay? We're bringing guests. We're gonna have a party. It's a celebration of your company, what you are doing, and we're inviting people to say something amazing is happening here. Come and take a look. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Arrive early, look good. Share that chair. Remember what we said about brand experience. Sunday is a good way to practice that. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you so much. It was amazing.
I'm going to see.
Okay. Quickly, while we're dispersing.
Please, I have something to say. And I'm grateful because of her. First of all, I'll thank her because we also have my friend. Like the way she doesn't know how to control her anger, I'm trying to take the anger to the So for me also, at least today.
So you got something.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank you, Lady.
I will give you.
At least two people got something.
You say later.
That's okay. Anyway, so, Lady May, how many minutes do you have? Friday. Because we like the part where the managers have to make a speech. I'm not going to discuss it today because I have the Tess, Honey, and Harry, and then myself. So what do you expect? What should we not do?